everyone, it's me, Eternally Elle, and welcome back to a new video. Yes, I got a cute and new setup from the comfort of my bed. We're going to be making a video talking about how you can still be social while healing. I know a lot of you guys have probably seen my videos of the isolation period or the transitional period of healing, and I really like talking about this because I feel like that's where I am within my journey, just the whole isolation period, okay? And this is me saying that it is completely okay to be a little isolated during your healing journey because the universe is filtering out those things that no longer serve us, like ex-friends, ex-relationships, of any kind. It can be romantic, platonic, familial. The universe actually is starting to put us on the right path towards success, towards what we want in our lives. So it can feel very lonely at first when you start your healing journey. It can be very scary, and that's why most people don't get over the hump of the transitional phase. Most people don't continue healing after this because they fall back into old habits, Familiarity feels safe to our bodies, even if that familiarity is actually not good for us. That's why a lot of people go back to their toxic ex. That's why a lot of people go back into these toxic friendships and all of these other things, because at least it feels familiar. At least they're not actually on their own and by themselves. And I completely get it, humans are social creatures. We are meant to be social with each other, okay? We are not meant to completely be isolated, stay inside all day, just not talking to anybody, right? So I completely understand why people may fall into some bad habits, and of course this kind of relapse within the healing journey can be a part of the journey, if they understand that it is a relapse and they get back up on their feet, this isn't the end-all be-all. However, I'm kind of making this video in terms of you can still be social while healing, okay? You can still be a social butterfly and a regular normal human being while still being in this transitional and isolation period. It may feel as though that you have nobody. Maybe you lost all of your toxic friends after you realized that they all didn't really like you like that, or maybe that they were jealous of you or competing with you. Maybe you finally got rid of that toxic ex. Maybe you finally got out of that toxic relationship that was really draining you, and maybe you put your all into it and now it's gone. So now you really don't know where to start. Now you really feel like, okay, I'm on my own. It can be scary, but I'm here and I'm ready to heal. So how can you still be social while in your isolation period, you may ask? Well, you can still be social because healing baddies need hobbies. And this is exactly what I want to talk about, because you can still have acquaintances, you can still have people that you have fun with within your hobbies, because healing baddies don't need to rely on anybody emotionally in order to function. Healing baddies understand that they don't need to be emotionally attached to anybody, because emotional attachment means that that person can control them, and we don't want that. Because when you're attached to someone emotionally, that means that they can control your emotions, For example, if you're emotionally attached to your boyfriend, right, your toxic man, and he obviously wants to hurt your feelings, he obviously wants to humble you, all of these things, of course you're going to feel upset. Of course you're going to feel all these things because you relied on him emotionally to make you feel better. That's why whenever you see those girls that whenever they get into a fight with their man and all of a sudden they're upset, they're not talking, it's because they attach to them emotionally. You can still be social. I really recommend that when you're in your healing journey to join hobbies, because you're going to be surrounded by like-minded people, you're going to be surrounded by people that enjoy the same things as you, and all of those other things, and you're most likely to find even maybe a friendship out of these hobbies because you guys are clearly on the same level in terms of what you guys enjoy. So for example, my hobbies include dancing. I like to dance at least once a week, because I kind of use dancing to connect with my inner child as well. So it's kind of a win-win, because when I was younger, I used to do dance and cheerleading, and I can't really do cheerleading now because I'm no longer in high school, but I still enjoy dance, and there are a lot of adult dance classes that I'm a part of, and I just have a great time because no matter how old you are, you're never too old to do and enjoy the things that you love. So that really helped me out. I also like to draw, I like to listen to music. It helps calm my nervous system, and just intentionally moving slowly throughout my day. I'm on the more anxious side, so I kind of talk really fast. I can move really fast without even me noticing, you know? It's kind of like just normal now because my body was so used to being in fight or flight mode that I felt like I always had to be in a rush, you know? I always had to do things really quickly, you know? And now that I'm actually being more intentional with my actions and everything else, now I'm just like, why am I rushing? Why am I moving so fast? My body is screaming at me that it's tired, and yet I'm still moving fast. That's when I tend to slow myself down. You know, I'll walk slower if I need to, if I'm tired. You know, I'll talk slower and I'll process things that people are telling me slower in order to fully understand what they mean. It's really just moving with intention that can also really help as well. You have to figure out who you are and what you like in order to find hobbies that you enjoy. If you're more on the introverted or shy side, maybe, and you like art, maybe you can join an art class, or maybe you can do like a paint and sip or something. You need to learn how to go out there by yourself and actually meet other people and greet other people as well, because we're all human, you know. We could all use a hi, like how are you, and then a little small talk conversation. I know small talk can be a little annoying to some people, and I completely understand, but you can use that as a gateway to really meet someone, to really understand who they are and why they like a certain thing. That's how you can be social while still healing. Because I know that I preach the whole solo dates. I know that I preach, you know, being okay within your own company and your own solitude. However, I understand that human beings are meant to be social. So it is okay to be social and be surrounded by those who are on your level, or those who enjoy the same things as you. So you can still get that human connection without getting too close to the sun, without forming an emotional attachment. You guys understand what I'm saying? And also, you have a better chance at finding friends that are on your level as well. Healing baddies have hobbies. I'm going to trademark that. Ever since that I left my toxic relationship almost a year ago, I have created my content creation. You know, I've been blowing up on TikTok. You know, I've been coloring, I've been drawing again, I've been dancing again. And all of these amazing things and opportunities have fallen into my lap ever since I cut that one person out. So it's just like, imagine once you finally let go of everything else that isn't serving you, imagine what will come to you then if you just get out of a toxic relationship or leave toxic friendships. Don't ever let anything hold you back just because you're afraid of being alone, just because you're afraid of being within the healing isolation period, okay? Because you can still talk to people, you can still have fun, and you can still do things and go outside with people and meet new people. That's the beautiful thing about human connection. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I actually had a really fun with this topic because it's been on my mind recently, and I just really want to talk about it because I feel as though the isolation period is necessary, it is essential for your healing. And whenever you ask the universe, like, hey, can you please take out anybody that's no longer serving me or anything that's no longer serving me? However, I understand that humans still need connection. We're still just animals at the end of the day that want that emotional connection and that want to be surrounded by those who are similar to us, you know? So I really hope this video helps, and I wish the best of luck for all of you guys on your healing journey. Love you guys.